I've been in the market for a new gaming laptop, but I just can't find one that fits my criteria of being really stupid. Which is why today, we're gonna build the world's worst gaming laptop. So stay tuned. And if your least favorite part of DIY is the why, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. So let me start this off with a quick disclaimer. Do not try this at home. Car batteries are dangerous. Zappy zappy. I'm a professional. Now, we've had this weird old wall-mounted industrial PC for a while now, and in that time, we've done a bunch of equally weird things with it. But little did you know that this was all experimentation in the service of a secret goal that I've had from the start. I want to turn this thing into a ridiculous gaming laptop. I think it would make a hilariously fitting thing to take in my beat-up 90s Jeep XJ to the upcoming Vintage Computer Festival East. And by Spindler, that's reason enough for me. So this thing was once an Allen Bradley industrial PC meant to be mounted in a wall and control like CNC machines or something. But we made some tweaks in previous videos. We replaced the original super disgusting muddy LCD with a modern 4x3 that fits in here perfectly and has VGA, composite input, and even HDMI. This thing is currently completely gutted except for the controller for the LCD. You see, originally this had a Pentium 90 megahertz, I think. We played with that for a little bit, but then swapped in modern gaming components, and as an aside, I used that as my main gaming PC for quite a while. But I want to turn this into an old school gaming laptop that can run DOS games and Windows 95, so I need to dig through my huge heaps and piles of random junk and see if I can find a CPU that's a little more energy efficient. Because a laptop, of course, needs to be mobile, and what are we doing to make this thing mobile? This is the battery out of my 98 Jeep Cherokee, which I replaced with something with a little bit better cold cranking amps, but this battery is just fine. What I would like to do is use a power inverter, hook up to the car battery here, and see how long it will run our gaming PC. And to really make this a laptop, we need some way to charge the battery, which I have right here, a battery tender charger thing. And all together, look, laptop components. The only thing we need now is a computer. This is the PC from our Cyrix processor video. I think this board is going to work great for a couple of reasons. One, the Cyrix processor is meant as a low power CPU, and two, this motherboard has both PCI slots and a single ISA slot, which means we might actually be able to get the front mounted keyboard on the industrial PC to work, because that needs an ISA slot. And I'm also not doing this board any justice in this case because I don't even have a power supply that fits in it properly. So let's take the guts out of here and try to mount them in the industrial PC. Right after this quick word about today's sponsor, PCBWay. Not only does PCBWay offer high-quality PCB prototyping and production, but they also offer on-site PCB assembly. And they can source some of the components with their turnkey service. They also offer high-quality 3D printing, injection molding, CNC machining, even sheet metal fabrication. Do you need HDI PCBs? Well, PCBWay offers that too. High density up to 60 layers with a wide range of customizable options. Make sure to check out the advanced PCB section to see all of the options for materials, thickness, layers, and of course, most importantly, to me at least, solder mask color. So if you have any PCB or prototyping needs, this is the perfect time to give PCBWay.com a try. This power supply is hanging on by a thread. And this should line up with the standoffs that are already in here. And it does. And despite being cool running, our VSC3 deserves to be cooled. There we go. Now, unfortunately, the power supply that came with this machine is a bit, shall we say, weird. And this power supply does not quite fit this opening. So we're going to have to figure out some kind of solution. All right, after some digging around, I found a different power supply, which kind of fits. I mean, at least fits better than the other one. It's at a weird angle, but it's in there and we can plug it in. So good enough for me. I have a big ol' RGB fan and a spacer because, of course. For video, I have this Diamond Viper PCI with some amount of VRAM, possibly 8 or 16 megs. Video, of course, needing to be rerouted inside the machine. Oh yeah, now that looks good. And since we're building in an old industrial PC, I have the perfect storage solution for it. An industrial flash disk module. This is basically a slow but very reliable IDE SSD. 4 whole gigabytes. I do love how it installs just right into the IDE socket. All right, let's smoke test this thing just plugged into a power outlet. Screen is on. Hey, look at that, we booted and it sees that SSD. All right, we need to put a CD-ROM drive in here. Now, I know I said Windows 95 earlier, but this is the world's worst gaming laptop, so Windows ME it is. All right, let's do a quick F-disk here. Boy, this CD-ROM drive is awfully loud. All right, I decided to swap to an optical drive that doesn't sound like a dying gazelle, and we're installing Windows ME. Hopefully jump cut to this being complete. All right, looks like we have Windows ME installed. So I guess there's just one thing left to do. Get out of here, Windex. Okay, so there's really no reason why this shouldn't work. I mean, this is a 750 watt power inverter, and the power supply in here is 450 watts, and I doubt it's using anything close to that. So, yeah. Power connected. Turn this on. Yep, that works. Plug in the computer. Turn on the inverter. The fan is going. And we're booting up the PC. It's so stupid. So silly and so awesome. I don't know why I find this so amusing. We are a fully mobile Windows ME experience. We have a laptop, my friends. Might as well try to install something. We are a gaming laptop. Now, I wasn't actually able to find the ISA card that I need to set up the membrane keyboard, but that's okay because the membrane keyboard is terrible. Duke should play awesome on this thing because it's a 550 megahertz VSC3. All right, let's charge this battery back up because I want to mount this to the computer somehow. And also we need to find some speakers because there's no sound. All right. I have some sweet forward-mounted RGB speakers. I have securely attached our power inverter. The speakers work. I think it's time to take this thing out and do some real-world gaming laptop testing. Okay, so I know that this was just a bit of a silly project, but I'm not kidding when I said this was my original idea for this ridiculous wall-mounted PC. And I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I don't think I'm gonna take it around with this car battery hooked up to it, especially to VCF East, but I think I will bring this thing along because it's just so frickin' silly. In any event, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more shenanigans like this, please subscribe down below. And thank you very much for watching. And a special thanks to Alex Hoffman 1, Alex Hoffman 2, Andrew Nicholson, April White, Chris Biggs, Chris Calderon, Chris Nelson, Control-Alt-Reese, Daniel Hubbard, Eric Shields, Frodo Jedi, Gaspar Heller, George F. Rosansky, Greg from Prep Game Mods, James Fryman, James Laurie, Jason Papaz, Jason Ezell, Camille Rakowski, Lyle Truid, Matthew Crowell, Paul Spencer, Ryan, Scott Cedarbaum, Scott Thompson, Tom Woodfin, Unknown Soldier 41, who are my highest tiered patrons, and all of my Patreon supporters for helping to make these videos possible.